so that we can have this for posterity. So now everybody on your best behavior since we're recording, and we will officially call this April edition of our PTA General Meeting to order. Oh, that's weird. I am on the screen with the sharing thing. All right. Well, we will. You know what? Screw it. We'll work with it. We're going for it. Y'all can see my face and the agenda at the same time. So, welcome everybody to April's edition of the PTA meeting. As usual, I am your host, good old Danny, as PTA president for at least one or two more meetings, that is. Um, as always, we will start things off with our wins for the past month. A couple big ones to talk about this month. First and foremost, March Madness was madness, from what I hear. Um, we were able to give out 120 basketballs that were branded with UNC, the Tar Heels, to the middle school students. Big shout out there to Sydney Pinkay, a kindergarten mom. We shouted her out last meeting as well for donating all that stuff via Carowinds. And then we had a slew of parent volunteers, Luciana, Jasmine, Monica, Yennefer, Kristen, Richard, and Jennifer. So, as always, volunteers are at the heart of everything we do. And big thank you to all of them, as well as anybody and everybody who sent in all the treats, because we need to feed these middle schoolers any chance we can. Next up, shout out to Abby Blanton, Dominique Bala, and Lisa Pugh for their work and tireless efforts with the book fair. Abby, the planning that goes into the book fair, the coordinating of all of the volunteers, making sure that Miss Smith has what she needs, and we're able to coordinate that. Dominique and Lisa for the early mornings being on school to crack open the registers and the cash boxes to make sure that we have money to use for the transactions. Another big success from everybody involved there. And you're super appreciating the help to empower the kids at Collinswood, making sure that they know how to budget accordingly and they know the difference between a $7 pencil and a $5 book. And you're making sure that we're fostering a love of reading in the kids. And kindergartner's beginners night, a sneak peek at all the families to come for next year at Collinswood. We do already have a full slate and roster for kindergartners next year. We are officially on a waiting list already, which is awesome to hear. And even more awesome between the on-site beginners night that was held on a Wednesday night or a Tuesday night and the virtual event that we held on a Wednesday afternoon, we had almost 90 families show up for the kindergarten beginners night. And when you think of that, the full kindergarten roster is 120 families, and a lot of these are parents with older siblings or families with older siblings at Collinswood. We had pretty much everybody there, which was awesome. It was great to feel that energy. Myself, Sherry, Liz, we're all there doing our best to answer the questions about
Get her. Close
uniforms
the
and
door so
spirit
Mom will come
wear
in.
and all the great things that come with being a new family at Collinswood. Then the KV5 math night, big shout out to Sherry Bissell. Making sure that we had a ton of pizza, which is never enough pizza, but having pizza available there and pizza available for all the students to eat while they were getting to do all their math activities, making arrangements for all the food trucks and SNK funnel cakes, making sure that they were there. And also SNK funnel cakes cut the PTA a
Look at
$100
me.
donation.
Look at
Sorry? Oh. SNK Funnel Cakes donated $100 to the PTA to be donated towards the fun run and the efforts to have playground sunshades. So that was really great of them to do. And one of my favorites, the Spirit Night at the Charlotte Checkers game. Thanks to Hub Or for making those arrangements and working through, and thanks to all the families for the rescheduling efforts through following the ice storm in January. We raised $430 from ticket sales for that game. And also for the Checkers fans out there, they have clinched playoff berth and are currently playing for excuse me, for home stadium advantage throughout the playoffs. So super exciting if you're a hockey fan. Continuing the sports themes, Josh and Caroline Paget donated and installed new nets for all the basketball hoops. So making sure that the outdoor hoops have functional nets that actually work and look good. So thank you to them. And lastly, K through 1 courtyard. Robert Kosh, Ross Glenn put together some really awesome, more permanent style soccer goals for our K through 1 courtyard. And as soon as word got out with the kindergarten and first grade groups, a ton of families immediately started volunteering to donate soccer balls and other equipment for the kids to have in their little courtyard for playtime and for recess. So really great effort all the way around. All right, moving into our agenda item, we are featuring again Principal Modine and having a Q and A with her. So, Principal Modine, are you on the call yet?
I am.
There you are. You're hiding behind the iPhone sign. So we didn't get any pre-submitted questions for Principal Modine, so we're going to do this a little bit of live Q&A. So for anybody on the call that has a question for Principal Modine, please go ahead and throw it in the chat, and I will start looking through those questions and posing them to Principal Modine so she can share some answers and drop some knowledge on us and do the things that she does. So I will go ahead and open the floor, open the chat. If anybody has any questions for Principal Modine, feel free to throw them in there.
Hi. Can I just jump in?
Yeah, go
I
for it,
have
Pamela.
an unplanned question. Hi, Miss Modine. Um,
Hello.
it's Pamela. I was just had a thought, and I was curious about coming out of COVID and all the field trips being kind of brought back into the different grade levels. I wasn't sure if there was somebody examined kind of seeing high picture. Okay, what did the sixth grade class, their sixth grade today, I'm talking about my daughter's class, who, missed out on field trips in third grade, fourth grade, fifth grade didn't go to DC, but this year's fifth grade class is going to DC. So what I'm getting at is just kind of like an equitable kind of overview and seeing how, um, and again, coming out of COVID and things like that, like how are we ensuring um, a well-rounded experience for all the grade levels, considering the disruption that COVID had caused. Just to let you know, my daughter says that their class feels like they're like the one that got gypped. So I'll just put it out there. I'm just like, I know maybe this is not the right forum to bring that up, but I'm just gonna be bold and ask the question of just like, how are we kind of going about, planning field trips? And maybe I'm just not well informed on like everything that's happening by grade level. So I'll stop right there and just kind of listen actively.
So we're trying to like one of the things we're having problems with is like people are not signing up for the field trips. Like when we plan things, like a lot of times there's not enough people signed up to go on overnight trips. Um so like fifth grade's going to DC, seventh and eighth grade is going to Atlanta. So like any kids that want to go, we're trying to like bring back that whole idea of when you're in this grade, you're going to go on this field trip and helping people plan ahead. And we're trying to include as many as we can, like international field trips. And so part of that is we're trying to plan ahead, which means that some of those trips are going to be during the summer because with CMS to go on a field trip, there's so many regulations, stipulations that we're trying to get around that by going during the summer when people are not on contract and they can be able to do more things that they wouldn't be able to do during a regular school year. So yes, we are working on that.
Great. And I was talking to Ms. Craven about just field trips in general. And so I'm happy to contribute some ideas just to the team of like, hey, there's maybe this to consider, just some new ideas. Not that Discovery and children's theater are bad, not at all. Just trying to, provide additional ideas because that was encouraged by a teacher that I spoke to this week. So
Yeah, and that's one of the things, like we're really trying to get back to where we were before COVID, because COVID like put the stamp on a lot of things where we couldn't do them. And so we're trying to really make sure that kids have opportunities that they wouldn't have otherwise. And so Miss Labrizzi and I have really been trying to incorporate more ideas into that. And so any ideas you have to share, please share.
Thanks, Pamela. And Principal Woodian, a question from the chat. I know there's been talk about a fence along Tyvola. Has there been a determination on that?
So CMS has said that they're moving forward with getting a fence up on. It's going to be from where the Smith building is all the way to the parking lot. There's going to be a fence completely across that whole area, across the Tyvola corridor. And
Wait,
so,
I have to interrupt. I
yeah.
don't, because I don't know how you didn't end up on these. Last week, Nicole Porty and Dennis Lacaria said that they, came to the school to visit and they value our community feedback and input, but that they will not be proceeding with doing a fence on Tyvola. Hold on, let me get to the right email chain. Specifically, okay. This was exactly a week ago, April 1st. Maybe it was an April Fool's joke, but it wasn't. Sorry. Thank you for your email and feedback regarding the fence along Tyvola, because I was just following up to see where we were at. And she said,
Wait, was Eugenia or no? I was here again.
Gosh, I'm so sorry, because I kind of had not a snarky response, but a very direct response. So I'm trying to get to the original email. Basically, that they came out and that there's 200 feet between Tyvola and the soccer fields, and the playground. Sorry, Tyvola and the playground, so that they felt that that was safe enough. Okay. At this time, a fence will not be installed along Tyvola Road. So I'm sorry, this was March 31st. The current safety practices and protocols are in place to ensure students are not leaving designated school areas. So our team did conduct a site visit and walk the property to assess the safety, distance, and investigate any incidents involving students related to Tyvola Road. We also revisited school policy with regard to supervision of students while on the playground. The green space that is adjacent to the school bus lot and playground area is approximately 200 feet from Tyvola Road. We also found that there were no safety-related incidents reported or captured involving vehicles or students almost getting hit from vehicles from traveling on Tyvola Road. So at this time, it will not be installed. And then, thanks for engaging and trying to keep students safe. I will say that I followed up a couple hours later and told her how disappointing it was to hear. And I said the playground may be 200 feet from Tyvola, but the soccer fields that the kids play on make the distance substantially smaller. The concern is a wayward child meets a wayward vehicle. I said, am I to understand the CMS admins would rather wait until a child is struck rather than a phone pole? And then I attached a picture of one of the accidents, a car hitting the phone pole. This should be a priority issue for CMS's risk mitigation team. Did you speak with CMPD in regards to reported accidents along our and Smith's shared property? It doesn't feel like the goal is to keep kids safe proactively, but rather an issue that CMS is willing to take a gamble on. We'll just say she responded a few hours later and doesn't agree, and that they do take student safety seriously and proactively assess all areas around our schools. And again, based on our reviews, including any reported incidents, which there have been no reports of to warrant offense at this location. So yeah, I'm so sorry to put everyone on the spot for that. And I'm so sorry, Ms. Modine. I thought you were on there because you had been on the same chain that I thought that I was drawing from. Please, everybody, feel free to engage with CMS if you feel passionate on this issue.
So I obviously wasn't involved in that. And last I heard, they were moving forward with it.
Yeah.
So I'll follow up on that tomorrow.
Yeah. Thank you. I would definitely encourage all the engagement that there can be, but also I know on the flip side, if you do reach out to our board member, Lisa Klein, it will just bounce back to Ms. Modine. I'm not saying it's not worth doing. It's good for them to know those things. You can also reach out to Nicole and Dennis. I did have some people reaching out to them last week because I was telling third grade about this, I think, maybe first grade too. And they were also, a few people reached out to Nicole and Dennis. They started giving the same canned response. But I will put some emails in the chat. Don't tell them, Udina. Oh, wait.
Not going to. Because, I already tried to make sure this happened, met with them. And last I heard, they were looking into it. It wasn't going to happen this year, but that was something they were looking at for next year. So, yeah. Go for it.
All right. I'll put it in the chat, guys. Stay tuned. Sorry about that. Bringing everyone down.
It's all good. I mean, you're sharing information that you received with everybody, and that's what this is all about. Let's see. Ms. Modine, we did have one more note added in the chat regarding field trips, specifically about heads up or advanced notification. Third grade had about 6 weeks heads up for the trip, which could make it difficult to get chaperones when people are managing working schedules, and sometimes could pose a difficult time for families to save up money for the trip.
And that's something, Miss Labrizzi and I have been working on with trying to get grade levels to understand, like, it takes months to get approval on field trips. And so we've got to really plan ahead. And that's something that we're working on with the teachers to make sure that they understand that it takes at least 2 months, especially when you're involving charter buses and things of the sort, to be able to get the approval. And so we're working on trying to give people more heads up.
Awesome. And another question that was submitted privately. This one is in regard to the school grade. What updates, if any, can you share about our school's progress with test scores as compared to last year?
So the good news is, we recently did, right now we're working on English language arts with our, the reading part of our iReady scores, and our kids are blowing it out of the water, which is good news because they're showing significant growth. And so we're making huge progress on that. And our goal right now is to try to be at least a B school this school year. And so a lot of it's going to depend on how kids do on the EOGs. And so this iReady growth is showing us that kids can do it. We just need them to, when the EOGs come around, perform the same way. And so they're capable. It's just a matter of whether or not they actually take the test seriously. And so we're trying to provide incentives for kids to meet their growth so that they're showing growth, but also proficiency, that they're passing the test with 4s and 5s. And so we're like drilling down to individual kids and having personal conversation with kids about, you need to make sure that you take this test seriously, because it's not that they can't, it's just that it's a lot easier to just say, I think I'm okay, and just submit the test without really taking it seriously.
Awesome. Thank you for that. All right. I don't see any other questions in the chat. Nothing has been sent. So does anybody else have any questions that they want to ask Principal Modine while she's here today?
Hey, Danny. I have
Hey,
a quick question regarding the testing. I know that there's an increased amount of testing this year, so we can't really potentially talk year over year what's the difference, but is there data to suggest that this additional testing, one, creates better outcomes, or two, does is there not an argument that says that by the time you've been tested to the level that we've been tested, that they're apathetic or just tired? I don't know, add any adjective you want. Is there data behind all of this additional assessing that says that it should give better outcomes?
So yes, as far as iReady goes, iReady is supposed to really support kids' growth. And I will tell you that compared to mid-year to now, and I can only speak to English, like the reading right now, they're way on the path to meeting and exceeding where they need to be by the end of the year. And so, yeah, the testing that we're doing is giving us good information about what kids need help with. And so that's what we're using the iReady testing for, is knowing exactly what kids need to work on. And I'll tell you, like, I was looking at 7th and 8th grade today, and the number of kids that need support, according to MTSS, which is our support system, we went from 15 kids to 4 kids needing extra support in 8th grade, and same for 7th grade. And so, yeah, the things that we're doing are really making a huge difference, because kids are understanding how they're being tested at the end of the year. Because a lot of times kids don't make the connection between what they're doing in class and what this looks like at the end of year assessment. And so we're making huge gains. And so hopefully they keep on that same pathway, because right now we're looking really good.
awesome. Kristen, thank you for your question. All right. Any other questions for Principal Modine? Something. It's in the chat. We've had for the next book fair. Are we able to put fundraised money in the accounts of students who don't have any funds so they can shop?
Um, I'm sorry, this is Abby. I work with the book fair. I would actually maybe punt that to maybe Miss Labreezy or someone from Collinswood Cares, as they kind of handle how all that works. I'm not sure what all the rules and regulations are regarding that though. It's a great idea.
And
Yeah, I
so
know.
we do use, but like kids that don't have money to buy books, we help them buy books. And so that was one thing I'd say. And also, I think we need to work more with Scholastic about like Scholastic dollars and how we can give those to kids and make sure that kids that maybe don't have books at home have access to those books. And so that's something we can definitely work on even more for next year.
Collinswood Cares does the book for every backpack If anyone wants to be in Collinswood Cares, it's just kind of, it's a parent group that they do a lot of really great stuff. I can't even surmise it very
Yeah, and
quickly.
they partner directly like with Miss Singleton, Miss Burgess
Mhm.
to
Yes.
identify the
They get
families
kids.
that and the students that need it most.
Yeah.
So
I will
they're
say,
Yeah.
like the students that, to Miss Modine's point, the students that were identified by Miss Burgess and Miss Singleton do get dollars like in a voucher kind of form. But I love the idea of working with Scholastic to kind of trying to use our Scholastic dollars to make sure kids have access to books at home too. So I'll definitely add that to my list of things to talk with them about.
awesome. Thanks for your question there, Crystal. And then a question from Tina. Any thoughts on growing our arts and theater programming with things such as art shows, plays, etc.?
I guess I would need more information about that. Like, what ideas do you guys have? Excuse me. And just like, I mean, we're more than open to that because I think we could grow our arts program even more than it already is. And Miss Lewingus, who is a former Collinswood student, yes, she is. She's completely all in with the arts, and so is Miss Reimers and Miss Alcamo, Mr. Lesso. And so one of the things I would love is like to expand our program into like musicals and those kind of things and performances. The problem is we don't have a teacher like for drama, which would really be helpful. We just don't have that kind of support. And so trying to figure that all out is something that we can do. Um, so we're open to ideas. Anybody wants to share, we're more than willing to consider anything.
Thanks, Miss Modine. This is Tina. So, yeah, I think that's kind of where I was going to was just the idea of showcasing more of the arts at Collinswood. And I agree, we have great resources or teachers in place for art, and maybe need have a need in the theater side. And we added, our boys are part of the Limelight Theater Club, where they're really excited about that. But something like a school performance, like you said, would be wonderful. And I know that the Miss Alcamo is really great about coordinating with Miss Reimers and others on, when they do have shows and stuff. So that's been really cool to see. So just a general vote of support for growing all of that.
100% agree. I mean, my daughter was a huge theater techie kid, and like that was her thing. And having her with that opportunity was wonderful. And so I'm 100% all in. We just need to like figure out how to make that work.
Yeah. Hey, thanks.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for your questions. And Ms. Modine, thank you for being willing to stand up in front of the group and answer all the questions. All right, everybody. In light of
Sorry, my camera's not on. I'm on my phone. So I'm just kind of, I'm here. I promise.
it's all good. Next time we'll get you over here with my high def camera, the microphone, then we'll really get you in the spotlight. We'll do a podcast next time.
Sounds great.
All right, so let's jump back over to the agenda, move through some of these items, seeing how we're half past. So March meeting minutes, we're going to review those real quick. Lori, our secretary, is not available to join us today, so I'll be going through them. As always, we started with shout outs and wins. We went through the friendship parties, flowergrams, Black History Month, the Collinswood News, donations, Spiritware, and Sky Zone Night. On the agenda, we had another Q&A with Principal Modine. And as a reminder, all the meeting minutes as well as recordings of our meetings are posted on our YouTube channel and sent out via the Collinswood PTA newsletter. So you can always go back in and review the information, the questions we asked, Principal Modine, the answers, and all the other fun agenda items that we talk about every month. Following the Q&A, we reviewed the February meeting minutes. They were reviewed, or excuse me, they were approved as written. Dominique walked us through our treasurer's report and some of the key items that we spent money on during the previous month. Big things there were professional development weekend for teachers, and a early release lunch for the teachers, as well as some band supplies and those permanent soccer goals that were on order that we talked about earlier in today's call. Abby walked us through some preliminaries for the book fair, letting us know that it was coming, as well as recruiting up some volunteers and working with Scholastic to get additional middle school appropriate books. Sherry chatted with us about kindergarten events and scheduling a meetup for kindergarten families in April or May. Zaina talked to us, and Ruth chimed in as well about the Taste of Collinswood and the multicultural potluck. Bailey Machuca came on to talk to us about nominations for next year's executive board, specifically still looking for nominations for elementary vice president. As a reminder, those nominations are still open. Cole Kessel, Sherry Bissell talked to us gave us an update on the fun run and the volunteer opportunities that are still available. They also walked us through a description of what we were what the fundraising monies were specifically for, adding playground equipment that had been approved by CMS, Gaga pit and a climbing structure, sunshade on 2 umbrellas over the playgrounds. We also went over some of the sponsorship levels for local businesses or really anybody who wanted to be a title sponsor for the fun run. And Principal Modine also was going to meet with the Ham Jams committee to talk about possibly using some of those funds for playground equipment. Jamie gave us an update for staff appreciation and brought us up to date with the Thanks a Latte, yogurt bar, spring break, a lot of the fun events coming up. Gift cards for staff appreciation are being collected. We had some additional notes from Principal Modine. She introduced us to or told us about Miss Leslie Nixon, the new Dean of Students. The school was still looking for 2 teacher assistants at the time. We reviewed our upcoming events and we had our closing remarks. Any questions about the meeting minutes from March? Alrighty, I move that the meeting minutes get approved as read and written. Do I have a second?
I second.
And all in favor?
Aye.
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 All right, and any opposed? All right, the meeting minutes are approved. All right, next up on our agenda, a treasurer's report from Dominique. Unfortunately, Dominique had something come up and was at the last minute and was not able to join us, but she gave me the lowdown on what her update was. The current balance for the PTA's bank account is $126,341.88. Few highlights of items that the PTA has sponsored within the last month. 6 more teachers have spent their classroom discretionary reimbursements. As a reminder, check in with your teachers. If they haven't spent their money, make sure they spend it before the end of the school year. Going back to our beginners night, each one of those new kindergartners and their families walked away with a future bilingual Collinswood Jaguar lives here yard sign, as well as a bilingual book for each one of those families to try to get them exposed to some Spanish language material right away. Senora Alcamo, we got some new music materials for her classroom. We already talked about the soccer goals for the K through 1 courtyards. The concessions and all the pizza at the active family event. We sponsored some professional development, as well as some trips for the staff at Collinswood. We had additional support for the math literacy night, fed the staff a big lunch on the early release day. One other point for the treasurer's report. The fifth grade families are currently working on holding a few different fundraisers to help raise money for their trip to DC, including Auto Bell Car Wash, couple spirit nights at local restaurants. To support this measure, we need to add a line item into our income section of the budget to properly account for this money, so we can then apply it directly to the fifth grade trip. So I would like to make a motion that we add a line item specifically for recording income for the fifth grade fundraisers.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
And any opposed? Cool deal. Motion passes. We will be adding a line item to record that income for our fifth grade fundraisers. All right, next up, Jasmine Aguilar with middle school updates. Jasmine, are you on the call today? Going once, going twice.
She's on here. She might be tending to.
Oh yeah, I see her name.
We'll skip it for now.
Yeah, we'll come back. We'll come back to Jasmine when she's ready. We'll send it over to Abby to give us the recap and the debrief of the book fair.
Thanks, Danny. I wanted to just thank everyone that attended the book fair and, also helped volunteer. Really appreciate it. And I know that the kids did too, and Miss Smith as well. So thank you guys. It was a very successful book fair. Usually the fall book fair is we make a little bit more, but this spring, we surpassed last spring's sales by over $3,000, which is awesome. So we brought in over $15,000 in sales. And the way that the profits work is either you can take half of that as scholastic dollars, or in the form of scholastic dollars, meaning you can purchase items. The teachers and Miss Smith can purchase items out of the Scholastic catalog, or you can take it in cash. And unfortunately, the payout isn't as high for that, but obviously you have a lot more flexibility about where you can order books from or school supplies, things like that. And usually we switch on and off fall versus spring. So Miss Smith opted to go with the cash. So the school was able to bring in $7,600 for teachers and staff to utilize for books or other supplies for their classrooms. So I know Miss Smith had some plans to she's just done inventory in the library, so is going to try to restock some of the more popular books and new editions, things like that. So really great and successful book fair. We're going to continue to kind of push for more Spanish language books and middle school books. It's always light pickings, but we are definitely on top of that. So if there are any other concerns, feel free to email me and we can continue to make this a successful and fun fundraiser for the kids.
Awesome news all the way around, Abby. I really appreciate you taking the lead on that and filling us in. All right, Jasmine, are you with us?
Yes.
Hey,
Hi, sorry.
Go ahead. Floor's all yours. Tell us about
Sorry.
middle school and what y'all have got cooking.
So yeah, thank you for the shout outs for March Madness. Definitely a big shout out to Sherry. She definitely knew what was going on because I have no idea when it comes to basketball. But definitely a big success. The kids really had a lot of fun, and we took a big old picture out on the bleachers and a video saying thank you to Carowinds, and I sent that over to Sydney. Just giving her another big shout out and thanks for the donations and everybody who went out and got the basketballs, who blew up the basketballs, who were there helping with setting up the tables with the snacks. Honestly, I don't think I could have pulled that off without any of y'all's help. So amazing work, team. Right now, we are focusing on the May 2nd, 8th grade social, which will be the sneaker ball. Partnering up with Miss Burgess, sending out invites to volunteers and parents that want to help participate, put this together. So be on the lookout for a sign up genius from her, and I'll be sending that out to the middle school resource team and to the PTA pals via text to see if anybody that loves to help coordinate parties, you're more than welcome to join us. But yes, that will be May 2nd from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. So any hands that can be on deck will be greatly appreciated. Also talking with Miss Labreezy about some things that we want to do in the middle school hall, some painting, hanging up some of the recognitions into for in the frames. So that's in the works, and trying to find a way to celebrate the honor roll students also in the works. So definitely listen out for those things. Big project for I know Ms. Labreeze is on here. I think I saw her. Just for all that, once that gets approved with Principal Modine, to see what all we're going to start doing before the cleanup session over the summer. So if anybody's available during that time, just watch for the invitation for that as well. So lots of fun stuff coming up. So thank y'all.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jasmine. Any questions for Jasmine? And I forgot to ask if there was any questions for Abby, well, with her book fair update. Alrighty, forward and onward. Speaking of parties, Sherry, what's up with the family social?
Okay, we are we have scheduled another K through 3 family social. It will also be May 2nd, from 4:30 to 6:30 over at Madison Central Park. We are not doing Park Road Park because one, you can't rent the pavilion right now, so we wouldn't have a guaranteed space. And two, you can't rent a pavilion right now because they're starting to dredge the lake and it's going to be very stinky. So, make sure your kids all pee before they leave to school and drive over a block to Madison Central Park. And come have a good time. It's going to be kind of the same deal as we do in the fall with, I have a sign up genius I'll post, basically just asking for some snacks and waters and such. You can grab some lunch, or sorry, some dinner, and bring that. There are a few picnic tables. It's a cool playground. There's some shade under the trees. And yeah, it should be a good time.
Awesome.
Hey,
Thank you very
Sherry,
much.
this is Tina.
Yeah. Hey.
You need a table or chairs?
Oh, I will not say no.
We
I'm
have
gonna bring
like a
a
foldable.
table.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm gonna bring a table and a tent, maybe just for like the snacks. But we can always do more.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're not far, so we can bring that as well.
Oh yeah.
Oh, and what about a speaker? Did you mention that?
Ooh, no, but yes.
Okay.
Please. Yeah. Do it. Invite Miss Carolyn. Let's get her out there.
I mean,
Just
should
don't
we make an
don't bring a microphone because then Sherry's
No.
gonna get on
I was
it.
about to say,
No,
should we file an official motion for Sherry to do karaoke?
I have
No.
two. I have 2 portable microphones now. I'll bring those. Thank you, Elena. Done.
And Tina, thank you so much for offering to bring that. And Sherry, as
Sure.
usual, thank you for coming up with fun things and great ways for families to continue to connect. Then I promised I would delay for Jamie. Jamie, are you still in the car? Are you back home yet?
I'm
Yes, she's not in the
home.
car.
I made it, barely.
All right, so talk to us
Hi,
about staff appreciation.
staff appreciation. So we had Librarian Day on the 4th, and we had OT celebrating the occupational therapists all month, which we always give a nice, meaningful note. Our OT was only here maybe like once a week, so she got a really lovely, meaningful note, full of lovely sentiments about how we appreciate what she does for our students here. And Miss Smith got a gift bag with a little gift card and her favorite little snacks and drinks. And then shout out Miss Labrizzi. It is Vice Principal's Week, so she will be honored by the PTA this week, as well as Mr. Hutton. And then we have after school professionals to celebrate, which we have 5 of those for ASAP. And we have Bus Drivers Day on the 22nd, which we have like 40 or so bus drivers. They each get a little gift bag with some treats and stuff in there. And this year, as part of the Grand Carowinds collection, we have a bunch of gift basket or little Easter baskets and Easter grass. I was going to do some sort of like springy little cute basket for them to take. And then, so another shout out to Sydney and Carowinds. The 23rd is our administrative professionals. So we're talking Miss Cabral, Ruth, Medina, and Miss Harrison up front taking care of all the business. So they will be showered with love and honored later this month. We have our yogurt, our attention, our yogurt and fruit bar. And I know what you're thinking. Did I miss that sign up genius amongst the sea of sign up geniuses? No, you did not. I have not sent it out yet because we've had an overwhelming number of signups and opportunities to engage. So we will put that out as like a really short turnaround after spring break. Hopefully, we'll all feel refreshed and ready to engage and volunteer our services and resources again. That is supposed to be, I think it's the 25th. It's supposed to be that final Friday, but I'm going to talk to, maybe I can circle back with Miss Labrizzi to see if we can push that to potentially that following week, like that Wednesday, maybe, just to give us a little bit more time to kind of pull that together. Then next month, we have 5th through the 9th Teacher Appreciation Week. I want to say a big thank you to everyone who has already Venmoed me for the gift card giveaway, which is like everyone's one of their favorite moments of the Teacher Appreciation, Staff Appreciation Week. Everybody gets a gift card. It's at least $25 to somewhere. There are a few surprise 50s, so it makes it super exciting. Yeah, we've already received enough funds. I've been Venmoed enough funds to have purchased 19 gift cards so far. And then I think Ruth has a couple that she was able to collect up front. So it would be great if we could kind of shore up some more funds or gift cards for that giveaway, because we have 101 staff members this year, which is awesome. But that's a lot more than we had last year. So these staff appreciation funds are flowing out at a rapid rate. But yes, I will take Zelle. I saw that one. Sorry, I'm not looking at all the chat moments, but yes, I can take Zelle. I can take Venmo if that's easier for you guys. I can put that in the chat, both of those things in the chat in a second, my number and my Venmo. And then also part of Staff Appreciation Week, we have the gift card giveaway, which I mentioned. Again, shout out Sydney and Carowinds. We have mugs to make little gift bags for another event for a little giveaway for the teachers. I'm going to talk to Ruth. She was saying we have maybe a Sabor connection to do a lunch for the staff one day. And then we'll do another moment of like honoring the teachers by like wearing their favorite color and then writing a special note one day, things like that. So I'll put that information out there in the next PTA newsletter, and also through our socials and things like that. I just know we have a lot going on right now and a lot of communication. So I'll just kind of hold off on those details for just a little bit. I think that's it.
Awesome. That's an awesome update, Jamie.
Danny,
Yeah.
can I ask a question?
Yeah, go ahead, Maya.
Hey, Jamie, this is Maya. Thanks for all you're doing for this. I wanted to just ask a quick question about whether or not it's feasible for us to incorporate more Venmoing in the teacher appreciation. So I just know we barely get to school, much less get to school with something that like is fresh and needs to be got from the store that day or whatever else, but would love to help more. So just wanted to see if there's a way for us to kind of have a Venmo option for some of the staff appreciation things that are happening throughout the year instead of bringing in physical items.
Yes, that is something that I can make more accessible. Like you mean on each different sign up genius for like our
Yeah,
end
so
of it,
not
like the
the one for
yogurt
the gift
thing.
cards, but yeah, like that
Yeah.
kind of stuff. Yeah.
Yes, I can do that. I think what I'll probably do is just have maybe on the sign up, you can sign up for the item, and then if you put Venmo in the note and you Venmo me, then I'll purchase the item and
Yeah.
bring it to the school. If does that make sense? Would that
Yeah,
work?
whatever's easiest for you. I don't want to make it
Okay.
harder for you or put too much on you, but I think I know for myself and maybe for other parents too, you may get even more participation if we're able to just kind of
Yeah, I hear
contribute
that.
financially. So
Well, and especially with something like the yogurt thing, yogurt and fruit
yeah,
thing, that's a real like a fresh situation morning of.
yeah.
Yeah, I get it. That one's a little more challenging. Or like the coffee bar picking up like the hot
And we're
coffee that
skeeching in the
morning.
parking lot at 9:14 every day. So
Yeah, I hear you. I hear
yeah.
you. Yeah, I can make that a little more accessible.
And
Sure.
again, if it's too hard for every month, if there's just certain months or whatever, but just wanted to throw that out as a request or question.
Yeah. I can do
Thank you.
that. If it starts getting to be an overwhelming number of Venmos and not enough like actual participation, then
Yeah.
maybe we'll pivot. But I do think especially on things like
Yeah.
the fresh stuff, that makes a lot of sense.
Cool. Thank you.
That was a great idea, Maya. Appreciate you bringing that up.
Hmm.
All right. Speaking of food, let's turn it over to Zaina to give us an update on the potluck that's happening day after tomorrow.
Okay, it is the day after tomorrow. Thank you for that. Sneaking up. So I'm not sure if Ruth is on here or not.
She's
But
not. She will not be able to make the. She was not able to make the meeting today.
okay. Well, she has taken the liberty to make the sign up geniuses for the volunteer sign up genius that Naomi has sent out um, on all the platforms. I think we've sent it. She sent it to everybody. Should have that. If you don't, I can figure out. It'll take me a few minutes because I'm not as tech savvy, but I can post it in the chat. And also the food that you're bringing. We just. I think we have enough volunteers. I mean, we could always use more, but I think we have enough to keep it going for a minute there. It was looking a little. It was getting hard to get people to sign up, and I get it. It's just, it's it's a lot. But once we get there, and we get it set up, it's going to be super easy. It's just all of us coming together, sharing dinner together. The kids can play. Hopefully, the weather's going to be nice. It will be indoors, so even if it does rain, we'll be protected in the multi-purpose room. And the only thing that we ask is that you bring enough food to feed the family that you're bringing. So bring a dish that would serve them, and it'll go a long way. We will have extra stuff. We're getting some catered stuff from Lupita's across the street, which they're always great. We'll have fresh tortillas and lots of stuff to make that um, meat, chicken, beef, whatever. So we should have plenty. Trying to think. I'm so not as organized as Jamie was. I hate that I have to follow her because it was so eloquent. Um, but yeah, I think it's going to be great. We just need a few more volunteers. So if y'all could check out that sign up sheet, um, I'm going to be there early to bring the tables that morning around 10 o'clock. If anybody wants to show up and help me unload tables, I will not turn you away. We will set up that afternoon. Those sign up times are on the Sign Up Genius. So if you could help 5 minutes, if you could help 20 minutes, um, that would be great. I think that we'll have a lot of people showing up that night. Usually step in is how it works. So we're looking forward to it. And anybody that wants to go ahead and sign up tonight, that would be awesome. And if anybody has any questions, I'm happy to answer them. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Thank you, Zaina. And any questions from the group for Zaina about the potluck? Cool deal. Sherry did put the link to both the volunteers and the RSVP that you're coming and bringing food into the chat. As always, it's also listed, everything's listed on the PTA website calendar as well. All right, we'll next move up to Cole Kessel. What's the latest on the fun run?
Heyo, we are 32 days away and counting. We have officially surpassed the 100 registrant mark. We surpassed that earlier this week, so I don't know the exact count, but it's over 100. And we are full steam ahead. May 10th, Saturday, May 10th. The actual kickoff or the fun run will start at 9 a.m. Right now, our biggest need from the PTA and the PTA supporters would be a few extra volunteers. We're asking for folks to either volunteer for a 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. block or a 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. block. And that is the thought being that if you wanted to participate in the run, but you could help out a little bit before with some of the prep in that 7 to 9 section, then or really 7 to 8:55. So we'll give you time to get your shoes tied and stretch a little bit. And then so that's kind of our biggest need right now. I think we have about 10 folks signed up to volunteer, maybe like I think like 5 or 6 in the early spot and 6 or 8 in the second spot. So some people are doing doubles, which we greatly appreciate. Other than that, full steam ahead, just kind of keep spreading the word. We're coming up on a couple deadlines. This Friday is our last day of registrations to guarantee your t-shirt size. Because we have to place our order early next week. So if you want to get your guaranteed t-shirt size, make sure you register by this weekend or by Friday. Other than that, I had one other thing. As always, if you can't participate, but you still would like to support, we will gladly accept donations. And if you have grandparents and that would like to support the school, this would be a great opportunity for them to click that donate button as well, or click that volunteer button. So that's if you have parents or grandparents looking to kind of support the school, it's a family friendly event from top to bottom. So thank you all for your support so far. I see many of the names on here have sent in their registrations, so we greatly appreciate that. And we look forward to spending a beautiful Saturday morning with you. I'm already calling it 32 days from now. It'll be great. Thank you.
Awesome. Good update, Cole. Looking forward to the event. I will most certainly not be running or walking the event, but I'll be there to volunteer and help out. All right, Sherry, talk to us about some more fundraising initiatives.
Okay, everybody. Probably no one loves cooking dinner or figuring that out, particularly on a weeknight. So, fifth grade has really been pushing hard to help bring down the cost for everybody for that trip to DC. So they have a few different nights that they are doing dinners out. One of them will be Thursday night as well. If you live near the Lodge, a sportsman's grill, there will be from 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. a portion of your meals cost will go to supporting fifth grade. I don't know what that portion is, and I'm usually really nebby and know these things, but I did not ask. So that is the link to that one. And then there are going to be 2 Shake Shack nights over at Park Road Shops, which is not too far from the school. Shake Shack, and they are very generous. They give back 25%.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's an all day thing. So the 2 days, oh my gosh, I hope I don't botch them, and I don't have them on the PTA calendar yet. One of them is going to be during spring break, April 16th. That might be one that you guys already saw on the socials because they made us a nice little sign. And then the other one I want to say is April 29th. But I'm going to double check my texts in a moment when I'm done talking, and I will type them in the chat. But those ones will be Shake Shack, very generous, 25% coming back to Collinswood. They should be doing an Auto Bell fundraiser as well, where they will sell gift cards for $20. $10 goes back to Collinswood. So also a pretty great return on investment there. And then for the fun run, we are going to have a night out on April 30th, right nearby, to a Collinswood family-owned restaurant, the old 1900 Mexican Grill. So close to the school, literally like around the corner. That one is going to be from 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. as well. It is actually Collinswood grandparents that own it, and a Collinswood mom at our school. I'm not sure if she's on the meeting right now, but I'll just say her name anyways, Tanya Doxy. If you see her, be like, hey, thanks. Your parents are pretty cool people. So consider coming to some of these events. You don't have to cook dinner that night, and they do good things for our school. One more thing, I wasn't planning to say this, but I'll just give everyone a heads up in case you're starting to think about it. I'm working on the Sprout supply boxes, and that is kind of a fundraiser because we get a few dollars back from them. So we're working on those Sprout supply boxes for next year, and I'll have more to say about that in the May meeting. That is all.
Well, I guess we're having burgers and shakes next week, so I'm here for it. Thank you, Sherry. All right, last item on the written agenda is related to campus outdoor beautification. Ross is stuck at work late, so he's not able to give his update, but it is on our website, and this really says it all. It's the spring beautification, outdoor beautification event, planting plants, digging up weeds, spreading mulch, watering things, picking up trash, really doing a great job and going to great lengths to make the campus look pretty, look clean, look very springy. This is a great event similar to like what Sherry was talking about. This is a great event to bring kids to, parents, grandparents, anybody who wants to just go out and play in the dirt and get muddy. There's always activities and tasks for people of all ages and abilities. We'll provide gloves and shovels and trash bags, things of that sort. So just bring yourself some hydration, clothes to get dirty in. More information to come as far as a sign up genius and any specific volunteer needs, but that will be on April 27th, Saturday, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m.
I want to say one more thing about outdoor beautification. Laura Magnuson is probably not on this call. She has Gabby and Tessa in 4th grade, and they're kindergarten. She has done some incredible stuff in the back of the school. If you've not seen it, she's gone through great lengths. I think some of you have, like especially a lot of our regulars on here who come to the meetings. She probably showed in the beginning of the year all that work they did for like kind of a walking area around the raised planter beds. And she made this whole pollinator garden with a bunch of things that are starting to pop. There's a bunch of vegetables that are going to start growing. it's definitely worth a look back there. One more thing I want to say, I was talking to her over the weekend, and someone in some of the one of these like flower associations, I know nothing about this world, but it's a big world. One of these like local flower associations, or maybe it's state, someone asked if they could nominate our school's setup back there that she did for a $10,000 grant. Maybe we'll get it, maybe we won't. I just thought that was really, that says something to the power of how awesome that space is, and she's really done a lot. And maybe we'll have some news to share next month about if that happens. And if you see her, give her a high five. She's pretty freaking awesome, and it's her passion. She loves it.
I love when people get nerdy about a particular subject. It's always cool to see the things they come up with. All right, everybody. So to wrap things up, as always, our list of upcoming events, as Jamie alluded to, we have one or two things. We've got the Sherry mentioned the fifth grade fundraising dinner at the lodge that's coming up. Taste of Collinswood, the potluck on Thursday, the international parade on Friday, then spring break, letting everybody take a moment to breathe, recuperate, maybe go on some vacations. Be on the lookout for the annual post of where to send in your pictures. So Maria on our socials team can post pictures of everybody's families and their shenanigans during spring break on our socials. Campus Beautification Day we talked about on the 27th. Shout out to Tina for mentioning that that is a Sunday, not a Saturday. I'll check in on that and make sure. The Fun Run fundraising dinner on the 30th. Sherry's going to work on getting the Shake Shack fundraising dates on the calendar as well. K3 Family Social on May the 2nd, same day as the 8th grade social, 8th grade dance. Then the inaugural PTA, Collinswood PTA 5K and 1 mile fun run and walk on May 10th. Whole bunch of stuff happening as we wind up to the end of the year. Something else to put on the horizon for, to put everybody's uh, calendars for May. Be on the lookout for more information about scheduling a special one-off meeting, PTA meeting, to review the nominations and vote in 2025-2026's executive board for the PTA. So be on the lookout for that, something you don't want to miss, so you can have a word in who leads the PTA next year. So, y'all, that is everything I've got. That's everything on the written agenda. Anything else from anybody on the call for anyone else on the call?
Danny, have you guys or has anybody heard anything about the parade on Friday? Is that
It is
still
at
happening, do you think?
it is
Well, I mean,
happening rain or
weather-wise.
shine at 1 p.m.
I thought they said they were going to move it inside if it was raining and the kids, we couldn't come as adults or something like that.
That's what they've done in the past. I don't
Yeah.
see Principal Modine on here anymore or Miss Labreezy.
No, I'm
Um,
still here.
oh, there
Oh,
she is. It's because you
hello.
say iPhone. Did you hide?
She's on the down low.
It
I don't know
says
if a
we're
decision has been made yet or when one might be made about whether or not it might be inside or outside on Friday.
we have not made a decision yet.
Okay. I'll stay tuned. No worries. Thank you.
All right. Anything else? Well, in that case, it is 8:14, and I officially move that we conclude April's PTA meeting. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Hi.
All right,
All
y'all.
right.
See you next month. Have a great night.
Thanks. Bye-bye.